Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball. Now, as you can see today, I don't have anyone with me, and you're probably wondering, like, who's the guest for today? There is no guest today. Today I figured I'd just run through my All-Star predictions for, the All-Star game that's coming up in a few weeks. And I got everything. I got who I think's going to make the All-Star game, the All-Star Saturday night with the slam dunk contest, three-point contest, skills challenge, the Rising Stars challenge. I even picked people I think could be in the celebrity game. So, without further ado, I'm just going to hop right into it and we're going to get started. I think we're going to go in the opposite order from how I just listed it, though. So, we're going to start off kind of with the meme topic for today, and that is the celebrity all star game. So, I picked 10 people on each team. I kind of did some research about maybe, obviously this year, the all star game is in Cleveland, Ohio. So, I wanted to get some people that were, from Ohio or lived in Ohio, had some connection with Ohio to some extent. And that's kind of what I did. Picked 10 people on each team, 20 people total. The teams, like, I didn't really care about, like, putting them on one side or the other. I kind of put, like, some rivals against each other, though. But let's just hop into it. I've done too much explaining already on this. So for the first team, usually there's one NBA legend on each team. And for the team one NBA legend, I got Mo Williams. I mean, I think Mo Williams, obviously he's one of the most beloved Cavalier players in history. He was on that team that won their only championship. I think people forget that. And then obviously he was an all-star alongside LeBron in his first run in Cleveland. So, I mean, why not? Why not? Um, the WNBA player now. There's always one on each team as well. And there's also usually there's somewhere between 2 to 6 girls on the celebrity game rosters. So for mine overall, I picked four. I picked two on each team. And the WNBA player I picked on team one is Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, she went to Ohio State and she's also from Ohio. So I figured, why not? Uh, Also on team one, I got famous Los, who's a comedian. I mean, he's been in it a few times. I think most people know him by now. He's probably going to want to do it again. Not everyone has some Ohio connection. Some of them are just people that love the celebrity game, and I think that they'll be back. So he's kind of one of those. Now this might be an interesting one. I picked Machine Gun Kelly. Obviously he's a rapper, and he's from Ohio as well. I feel like that would be kind of interesting. And I saw in an article about the All-Star game and how they already have like people lined up to perform at halftime and stuff. I believe Chance the Rapper is one of them. And they hinted in there, don't be surprised if some of these people are, on All-Star Weekend in some fashion. He was one of them. And another one that they actually mentioned was, and I might butcher the name here, but Stipe Miocic, who is a mixed martial artist. Um, yeah, and he's also from Ohio, so I figured why not? You got to put him in there. Got to give him that respect. Uh, the next person I put on here was Lily Reinhart. She's the second female on the team, and she's an actress as well. Also from Ohio. Figured why not? Uh, Seventh, I got Common. He's not from Ohio, but he's been in this thing I think like 8 or 9 times now. So I mean, he's probably going to want to do it again. Let's be real here. Um, Eighth, I got Cat Williams, who is a comedian. And it'd be kind of funny because I think he did like a stand up thing about like basketball in a sense that was kind of like degrading to basketball. So it'd be kind of ironic to see him out on the court if he can really hoop or not. Number nine, I got Urban Meyer, who's obviously a coach in the NFL, a longtime coach as well. He's also from Ohio. I figured why not. And then 10th, I got Arnie Duncan. I think most people that watch the Celebrity All Star game know who this is. He's the U.S. Secretary of Education for many years, and he's even a one-time MVP in this celebrity game. So I figured he's got to be in here. He was actually a late addition to the team last year, and I think it was the first time he had been in the game in about 6 or so years. So maybe he's back in that rhythm of, wanting to be in the celebrity game. So team two now, the NBA player I got on their team is Jim Jackson, who's also from Ohio. I feel like it's not too overpowered though, because I feel like both him and Mo Williams, they were always solid players, all-star caliber, but not like Hall of Fame, not like superstar level players. So I think it makes sense. I also got Candace Parker, and I know she's not from Ohio, but I think that the season that she came off last year and like winning it with the Chicago Sky, I mean, I think that that's probably going to warrant her like a spot to showcase. Like, why not? I also got Quavo on here. He's usually in it. He's been in it like I think the past 3 or 4 years, and this one might be pretty crazy. But I also got the baby being in it. Um, there is clips of him playing basketball, so I feel like that would be pretty interesting to see him actually in a showcase like for the Celebrity All Star Game, and I think a lot of people would pay to see it. The fifth one, now she hasn't been in it in a few years, I believe, but I think it's going to be Rachel Demita. And I think the last time she was in it, she dropped like 17 points or something like that. Like she went off in the Celebrity Game. She can definitely play, and she's also from Ohio, so it only makes sense that they bring her back now. Uh, Next, I got Guy Fieri. He was actually an assistant coach last year, or the last time they did the celebrity game, because I don't think they did it last year, but 2 years ago, he was the assistant coach for Team Stephen A. Smith in the 2020 celebrity game. And, I figured why not? He's usually talking about basketball and stuff like that as well. He's also from Ohio, so it makes sense. Next up, I got Alec Yoder, who is a gymnast. I was thinking of picking Simone Biles, but I figured that'd probably not be something she'd be up for. So I figured, why not? Let's just get Alec Yoder. It kind of sounds crummy to say it like that. Now, here's an interesting one. The eighth one, and I'm trying to think realistically. I know some people would probably be completely against this, but I think another person on this team is going to be Zach TTG, the traveling gamer, member of Two Hype, because he's also from Ohio. And if you think about some of the stuff that they've done over the past few years, is that they've drawn a lot of connections with some of these NBA teams. Guys in Two Hype like Christopher London, Jesser, they're getting like on court and they're getting like front court seats. They're doing halftime stuff for some of these games. So I figured they might ask him to be in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they ask him and maybe they ask like someone else in Two Hype to be on the other team. That would not surprise me. I'm just trying to think realistic here. Um, Number nine, I got Josh Radner, who's also an actor from Ohio. And then number 10, we got the GOAT, the Bucks co-owner, Mark Lasry. I think he'll want to show off a little bit too, because the Bucks, they're coming off a championship. So why not? Why not? But we spent a lot of time on that. Now, who I think is going to win, if those were the teams, it would be Team One, and who I'd have as the MVP. This doesn't really happen. I mean, I was thinking like, it could be Common. He's pretty solid. It could be Famous Los. Uh, but it could be Arnie Duncan. I'm actually going to roll with Mo Williams. I feel like Mo Williams will want to put on a show. And people forget, like, this guy's not even 40 yet. So he could definitely put on a show. And that's why I'd pick as the MVP. I think Mo Williams would be if these are the people that are picked in the game. So that was kind of like a little fun segment. Now we'll get into like the real all-star stuff. And it'll be probably less fun if you guys disagree. So let's jump right into it. Starting with the Rising Stars Challenge. Now every year they have Team USA and Team World. There's 10 people on each team. Rookies, sophomores, those are the ones that make up the list. And starting for Team USA, I'm going to list it by sophomores and then Team World. And I will say Team USA was so hard to pick. I think there was between 17 guys that I was thinking about picking, and I had to leave some off, including someone who I really wanted to pick from my Chicago Bulls. So that was really tough. But in terms of Team USA, for the sophomores, starting off LaMelo Ball, I think that he's played just insane this year at an all-star caliber level, so I think he's basically got to make it. Next up for the sophomores, Anthony Edwards. Again, like he's also playing at an all-star level. I mean, it'll be harder probably for him to make it than LaMelo just because of their positions and also the conference that they're in. So it might be a little bit more difficult, although the East has been pretty good this year. So I don't know. But I got those two for sure. I also got Tyrese Halliburton. He made it last year. I think he's also going to make it this year. It seems like he's gotten better with the past two seasons. A sophomore that didn't make it as a rookie, but is going to be on Team USA. I got Cole Anthony. I mean, he's averaging like 18 a game. And yeah, the Magic stink. I think they're like last in the NBA, but I don't know. I think that he will make this lineup. Next up on the list, another sophomore. I got Tyrese Maxey, just like Cole Anthony. I mean, they're averaging similar numbers. The difference is that Tyrese Maxey is also doing so on a relatively competitive team. And one could argue he's been like really the second best player on the Sixers this year. You know, Tobias Harris is a little up and down. Seth Curry's a little up and down. Obviously, he's not better than Joel Embiid, but he could be that next guy, and he's gone off a few games. Next up, another sophomore on this team, Desmond Bane. Again, he's averaging, I think, just around that spot. I think around 17, 18 a game. And he's also had to fill a lot of empty spots. You know, they were without Ja and they went like 11-2. He was arguably the biggest reason why. They were without Dylan Brooks for several games. Now he has to take that role as guarding the best perimeter player on the other team. We saw the other night when they played the Warriors, and he had to take like almost the Steph Curry assignment. So I don't know, like he definitely deserves to make it for sure. Now the rookies on this team, there's four rookies I picked. The first one's got to be Cade Cunningham. I think that he's simply owned up to being the number one overall pick. Now you could argue if he's been the best rookie necessarily, but he's at least playing like a number one overall pick should in their first season. Um, the second one, and I was on the fence about this, but I don't think that they leave him off just because I think he's been a little skeptical with how he's started his career, but at the same time, he hasn't really been terrible, obviously. And he's still averaging like 15 points a game. Yeah, the team isn't that great, but I'm gonna go with Jalen Green on the Houston Rockets. Um, and so the next one we got is a guy that's been really in the Rookie of the Year talks almost all season long, Evan Mobley. And my last spot is, as you noticed, I got the first pick, the second pick, the third pick in this draft, and I also got the fourth pick in the draft, and it's Scotty Barnes. I think it's just too hard to leave him off. Um, Really wanted to put guys like Io DeSunmu on here for my Chicago Bulls. Devin Vassell for the Spurs has been great. Jalen Smith for the Phoenix Suns has been really good as of late. Trying to think who else. Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Isaac Okoro. I don't know if I'm missing anyone, but there were a lot of guys that, obviously I considered to put on here, and I simply just couldn't. And it's tough. But let's move on to Team World. This is a little bit easier to decide, and that's probably going to foreshadow my outcome. But starting with the first person on Team World, I got four sophomores. So the first one is Facundo Campazzo. Yeah, isn't it weird to think that he's just a sophomore in the league? He's almost got like that Pablo Prigioni vibe to him, where it's like seems like he's way older than a second year player. And it's because he is. For one, he didn't come over like when he was like 18, 19, like some of these other guys from college or 1 year overseas. But at the same time, like he's technically counts as a sophomore. So I think he'll make Team World. The second one I got is Denny Abdia, who is a sophomore. He really hasn't had a great season, but again, Team World was, I mean, it was almost hard to pick in the sense where there wasn't many good options. I'm not gonna lie. Um, the third person I got for Team World is oh my God, Precious Achua. Gosh, that was a tongue twister. Um, but yeah, I think that obviously he's a second year player. He's playing a lot better this year for the Toronto Raptors. Now he has a bigger role, and I think a lot more people that are Raptors fans are high on him than they are Chris Boucher, anyways. So I think that he's definitely got to make it. The fourth sophomore, and the last one for Team World, I got Killian Hayes, who has played better this year. He really hasn't played that great. I think he's shooting like 34% from the field this year, only averaging about 7 points. But he's also averaging, I think, like 4 assists and 3 rebounds, doing a little bit of everything. The Pistons aren't that great, but neither are the options, like I said, for Team World. So uh, the rookies now I pick for Team World, and this is probably the stronger suit of their team. Starting off with Josh Giddey, I think that he's probably in top five at least in the Rookie of the Year race, so he definitely needs to make it. Youngest player to ever get a triple double as well. Um, Another rookie I got is Jonathan Kuminga, and this might be a little questionable because he did miss like time early in the season, but as of late he's played really good, and I think that he will earn that spot in the Rising Stars game. Another one that I got in here and probably could be the front runner for Rookie of the Year. He's definitely up there though too, and that is Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. He's definitely got to make it. He looks like he could be really the next big thing for the Orlando Magic. He's already drawn comparisons with his stat outputs for games that like Shaq had his rookie year, Dwight Howard had his rookie year, and now you're seeing it again with Franz Wagner. Not that their play styles are necessarily the same, but like you know their scoring outputs, their rebounding outputs, it's all kind of similar from a rookie standpoint. Like you can only imagine where he's going to be by year 2, 3, 4, and so on. Next up, I got a guy that was probably leading the Rookie of the Year race like the first 2 weeks of the season, and that's Chris Duarte. Yeah, he hasn't been quite the same since. He's still been pretty good though, and I think he will make Team World for this game. The ninth person I got is Alperen Sengun for the Houston Rockets. This guy's kind of gone under the radar. I think that he's going to be one of the better players in the league when he's in his prime as well. So had to give him credit there. And then the last pick I got is Omer Yurtseven, who is a rookie for the Miami Heat. So I think that he will make it too. I believe he put up like 4 straight games of like 15 and 15, which is crazy to do in general, and especially as a rookie. Um, so yeah, I mean, I had to give him his props. There definitely was a lot of talent to pick from here. I think Team World's sophomores might be the weakest part of this, but overall, like there still was like a lot of great players to pick from. Who would I have winning? I think Team USA though is going to win, and my MVP, I'm feeling a little bit of a Desmond Bain. I think Desmond Bain's going to pull it off. Um, I don't know. I'm just feeling I could already like kind of imagine him holding the trophy. So I'm gonna roll with that. So now that was the Friday night. So now let's move on to All-Star Saturday night predictions, and we'll start with the skills challenge. Now last time I think they only did 6 people in the skills challenge last year, but before that they had done 8 every year. So I'm assuming they're gonna pick 8. They very well could pick 6, but I don't think it would change the outcome of my winner necessarily, and I don't want to leave off anyone extra that I might want to put in there. So, starting with the skills challenge, they usually pick 4 guards or backcourt players and then 4 frontcourt players. The first guard I got from the Chicago Bulls, I got Kobe White. I think that, I mean, he's played pretty good so far this year, and it would be interesting to see him put his skills on showcase at least for one night. The second guard I got is Jalen Brunson. He's played really good this year, one of the more underrated players in the league, especially since, when Luka Doncic went out, he was kind of helping them kind of stay in it a little bit. The third guard I got is someone I also had in the Rising Stars game, and that's Tyrese Maxey. And along with him, another person in the Rising Stars game, Josh Giddey. I think that both of them will make it. I think they've both exceeded expectations so far for this season, and it would just be nice to see them. For the front court players in the skills challenge, I got the reigning champion, first of all, Domantas Sabonis. I think that, he's definitely one of the more skilled bigs in the league. And although the Pacers haven't played that great this year, and although, I don't think he's having quite the season he had in the past, although he's still playing pretty good. Like, I don't want to, just shove him aside or anything like that. Like, he's still like an all-star caliber player, no matter how you look at it. So I think that he could still make the skills challenge for sure. A second person that would be interesting to have, and especially since the All-Star game's in Cleveland, is Evan Mobley. I think that everyone talks about, he's one of the most skilled big men already in the NBA and all this stuff. Like, why not put it on showcase, at least for one night? The seventh person I got is Pascal Siakam, who was in the skills challenge in the past, and he's playing really good this year too. I mean, just like Sabonis, he's still an all-star caliber player. And if he didn't miss the earlier part of the season, then I think a lot more people would be giving him that all-star praise. You're just gonna have to wait and see if he made my ballot or not. And then the last person I got is Karl Anthony Towns. I feel like Karl Anthony Towns will want to do just about everything, like that he possibly can, everything that he'll be asked to do for the All-Star game or All-Star weekend. This guy, he's missed out on the last 2 years simply because he got injured at the wrong time. Even though we all know he's an All-Star caliber player, I think most people consider him still a top three center in the league, which is what I do as well. So yeah, I mean, I think that he'll make it. The winner for that, I think it'll be Jalen Brunson. I don't know. I just got like that feeling that he's going to take it home. So it's hard to go against Kobe White, of course, but trying to remain as objective as possible. So for the 3-point contest, we usually got 8 people, and who else could you start with other than the guy who broke the record this year for most 3-pointers in NBA history, and that's Steph Curry. I think he's definitely got to make it. Second is a guy that's been shooting really well, probably the best, one of the best at least, volume 3-point shooters in the league this year, and no one's really talking about it simply because their team is bad, and that's Eric Gordon on the Houston Rockets. He did win it before. I think it would be the 5-year anniversary of when he won it because I think he won in 2017, so it would be nice to see him back in it. Third, we got Luke Kennard. He's also shooting at an insane clip. I think he's at like 44% from three this year. Fourth, we got Mike Conley Jr. Again, the Jazz. Yeah, sometimes they take maybe too many threes, but they're also one of the best shooting teams in the league once again, and he's a big reason as to why. So I think that he's got to make it. Fifth, we got Desmond Bane once again. I think that it seems like every time he shoots the ball too, like you just know it's gonna go in. And he's kind of got like an interesting release too, because it's kind of like a catapult in a way, like where he like actually lines it up, launches it up, and you just know it's going in every time. I think that would be interesting to see, like with 60 seconds on the clock, like how many he could make. Six, we got Patty Mills. I mean, this guy when he's on fire might be the most unstoppable player in the league. I'm not gonna lie. But no, like he's had some moments this year where he's just gone on a hot streak. I think their last game, like he came down, hit a three, and then like they got to stop, hit a three. The other team got a turnover, hit a three. Like he hit 4 threes or something in a row. And he's also shooting better than most people in the league this year. So I think that he'll want to be in it. Seventh, I got Zach LaVine. Last time he was in the 3-point contest, and he did okay, I think. So, but he didn't win it, and he's won 2 dunk contests before. I think he wants to win a 3-point contest now. I think that's like his next goal, next objective. And he's shooting over 41% from three so far this year. So why not? Why not? And then last, and actually the guy I think that will win the 3-point contest this year, I got Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors. He's shooting insane this year. And yeah, I'm just going to roll with him. I think that he's got this one in the bag. For the slam dunk contest, usually there's 4 competitors. The first 2 are probably two of the most insane dunkers so far this season, and that is Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards, both young stars. So I figured you got to have them in there. I also got Miles Bridges in there. I believe he might have been in it before, but I don't think he won it. And then we have a former winner in Hamidou Diallo. I think he'll be back as well. He's playing really good for the Pistons this year. But my winner of those 4, I think Miles Bridges will pull it off. I think that this is his time to shine. But yeah, so now we get to the great part, the NBA All-Star Game predictions. Who does SMH24 have? Well, I'm about to answer it for you. So let's start with the East starters. And again, they're going to do like team captains. They're going to pick their own teams, whatever. So I don't necessarily know how that's going to work. I don't know like who's going to end up on what team. So I can only pick like each conference. So starting off with the East. For the 1 guard position, I'm going to take Trae Young. Yeah, the Hawks have not been very good this year. But, if they were, like we'd probably be talking about Trae Young as maybe top 3, top 5 in MVP. And you can't really necessarily fault him when some of these other guys have not played up to expectations either. Clint Capella, for one, Lou Williams, some of these other guys, obviously they just got rid of Cam Reddish. John Collins had some frustrations. So I think Trae Young's doing just about all he can to try and like keep the team like stabilized a little bit and keep progressing forward. And he's also playing at a high level. So I'm gonna take Trae Young there. Second, and this, I don't even think this is me being like a Bulls fan and that bias, but I think it's DeMar DeRozan. I think that he's personally played like a top 8 player at least this season. One could argue maybe top 5, top 6. And there's a reason why he's leading substantially over everyone else as the Eastern Conference backcourt players. So DeMar DeRozan will get that starting spot. For the front court in the East, I got Kevin Durant, and I know he's out 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to touch on that in a bit, though. But he will still be voted in at least as a starter. So, hold your thoughts on that. I'm going to get to it. Just wait. We also get Giannis. I think that he's playing like an MVP caliber player. And just like that, we got Joel Embiid. He's also playing like an MVP caliber player this year. For the Eastern Conference bench, I think it's got to start with James Harden. I mean, not just for what he's accomplished like throughout his whole career, but again, like he's doing it this season as well. And you'll probably expect him to elevate his play even more so over the next few weeks with Kevin Durant out. And I know they got Kyrie Irving and stuff like that too, but he's only, as they say, a part-time player right now, and he already missed like half the season that we've already played. So, well, actually, even more than that. I think he's missed like 80% of the season that's already been played. So he's not going to have enough games under his belt to actually get voted in. But Harden, he will. Second for the East, I got Zach LaVine. I think that, yeah, he won't be a starter because Trae Young's playing so well. He's also obviously missed a couple games recently. Shouldn't be that substantial, though. But, yeah, I think that Zach LaVine will still make it, at least in some way. Third, we got Jason Tatum. Yeah, the Celtics haven't been that great this year, but, I mean, Jason Tatum's still an all-star caliber player, no matter how you look at it. Fourth, Jimmy Butler on the Miami Heat. And he honestly might be a starter if he didn't miss so many games. Um, but yeah, I know Tyler Hero's been great, and obviously Bam's been out. Kyle Lowry's been pretty solid, also been out some games. We talked about the rookie Omer Yurtseven, guys like Max Strus, Gabe Vincent. Like they've all been pretty solid, but I think Jimmy Butler's had the largest impact and is arguably playing his best season this year, like of his career too. So I think he'll definitely make it. And then fifth for the East, I got Jared Allen, who would be a first-time All-Star. I just think that he kind of deserves it. Like no one thought the Cavs would be where they are right now. I think right now, at the time I'm recording this, they're in fourth in the East. So that's just crazy. Now I got 3 people listed here at the end, and I don't want to say like it's a good thing like for someone to get injured, but in their sense, the good thing for the Durant injury is that I think all 3 of them should make it. And I'm not going to specify which one is necessarily the reserve or the replacement because I don't want to like offend one over the other. But of these 3 guys, 2 of them will make it for sure. One of them will be a replacement. However you arrange it, I really don't care. But I think all 3 of these guys will make it, and that is LaMelo Ball, Fred VanVleet, and Darius Garland. I think all 3 of them will make the All-Star team in some way. LaMelo's been great. He missed a few games, but he's a big reason why the Hornets are in 7th, and they're kind of knocking on the door now of 6th place in the East. Fred VanVleet has the Raptors. He's been probably the most consistent player all year long for them. He's their leading scorer, and he's played, I think, the most games of anyone on the team. And like I said, he's shooting at an all-time level. I mean, you got to put him in there. Like, nobody thought the Raptors would be top 7, top 8 right now. People were sleeping on them, like, vastly. Like, especially after they lost Kawhi. And then they lost Kyle Lowry, and, like, all these other pieces started falling apart. And they're where they are right now. Like, that's huge credit to him, and also a huge credit to Nick Nurse and some of the other guys like Siakam, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, Anunoby, all these dudes. Uh, and then Darius Garland, I think that both him and Jared Allen are like equally as deserving. It's just kind of like the positions put Jared Allen as like a surefire lock to make it, whereas Darius Garland might be tougher, might be one of those wild card spots. So regardless, though, I think both of them will make it now, especially after the Durant injury news. So, and then the Eastern Conference coach, I actually think it will be, it would be awesome to see the Bulls head coach Billy Donovan represented, but I don't think it will be. I think that we've been on a losing streak lately, and the Miami Heat are getting healthier. Bam just came back, so I think it will be Eric Spoelstra, and I can't remember the last time he was. I think it might have been back when like they had the big three, when they had like LeBron and Wade and Bosh and those guys. So that would be exciting for him. Going to the Western Conference, starting lineup, Steph Curry at the point guard. Shouldn't really need to explain it that much. He's still the best point guard playing in the game right now. The other guard, I got Ja Morant. I think that what he's done when he's been out there this year has been, just insane, and he's already drawing a lot of comparisons to elite players of the past, guys like, they talk about how he's compared to Westbrook, talk about how he's compared to my guy D Rose, um, all those guys, Steve Francis, like whoever. Third, we got LeBron, and I don't know if he'll necessarily be the captain because it could be Curry, but regardless, they'll both still make it. Fourth, we got the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. He's sure to make it as a starter. And then last, I actually got Karl Anthony Towns. I think a lot of people have been sleeping on him this year, and he's definitely deserving of being an All Star this season. Now, the Western Conference bench, uh, the first spot, I think it starts with Chris Paul, and it's been really weird how people have been sleeping on him recently. Like this guy was in top, he's still I think in top 10 like for MVP ladders for a lot of people's lists, but yet people are saying he doesn't deserve to be an All Star. Oh, he just missed the cut. Like I don't know how you can even say that. Um, but yeah, sorry, a lot of talking, almost like burped or whatever. So the next guard I got though is Donovan Mitchell. The Utah Jazz have been playing still pretty solid, probably a little bit lower than how they'd want to be playing at this point, but yeah, I mean he's still sure to make it. The third one, and this might be questionable, but I got Paul George. Now he's actually played. I checked, and it feels like he missed a lot more games than he has, but he's actually played 26 games, and they've played about 40 or so. So really, he hasn't missed that much time, and he'll probably be back before the All Star game. So I don't know. I think Paul George will make it. He's a big reason why the Clippers are even in the mix right now because of how much he contributed when he was playing. Fourth, I got Draymond Green. Yes, he's averaging a triple single, but uh, his role, like, obviously still matters, like, to a huge degree. Obviously their defense suffers when he's out, and really their offense does too, because they don't really get quite as good of looks. Even Steve Kerr was talking about that the other day. And then fifth, I got Rudy Gobert. I think both him and Mitchell, they're sure to make it. They're kind of like a tandem, so I think he'll make it. For the wild card spots in the West, first I got Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker should definitely make it. And this would be actually the first time I think he for sure made it as like a top 12. The last few years, people thought at first like you just snubbed Devin Booker, but then he made it as an injury replacement. This year, I think he is going to make it as a top 12, like for sure, though. And then the last spot I got, I mean, you got to put Luka Doncic in there. Especially over the past few games, they've been playing great. They ended my Bulls win streak, they ended the Grizzlies win streak. They've kind of just been playing good against everybody, and Luka, he's started to pick up a little bit. Like this is probably like his hottest streak of the season as of right now. I really wanted to put Damian Lillard on here, but I really don't even know if he will be available for the All-Star game, and especially since he really hasn't played that great to start the season by his standards, he probably won't make it, and honestly, that's fine. People just have those kind of years. I mean, we saw it with Durant in 2020, we saw it with Curry in 2020, so sometimes it happens, and I mean, that's completely reasonable. The head coach for the West, I think it will be the Phoenix Suns, Monty Williams. I believe last year it was Quinn Snyder, and he barely edged out Monty Williams like in the last few days or something like that. I think this year Monty Williams will get it, and he'll get it with more time to spare as well. But yeah, I mean, I just rattled through everything, all my predictions for the All Star Weekend. Now you guys know everyone who I think should be, the celebrity game people. If I get those people right, or at least like, yeah, like if I pick some of those people right with who they actually end up asking to be in it, I think that's pretty impressive. The Rising Stars game should be fun. Don't think they had that last year, so it'll be nice to see that once again. And then All-Star Saturday night as well. Would be nice to see that at full capacity, like with the fans and stuff as well. And then the All-Star game, I think people are looking forward to that as well. The reason I wanted to put this video out now instead of later is because by the time I upload my next video, they're already going to announce the starters for the All-Star game, and then they're going to start announcing some of this other stuff, like who's going to make what. So I figured like this is kind of the last time I have to make a whole video about this. So wanted to get this out right now. Again, I'm sorry there was no guest today and there's no trivia, but that'll be back. It'll be back like starting next episode and for like the near future until maybe I have to do another video where it's like just me talking. Because if I had a guest on here and we were both running through our predictions, that would almost take like an hour, 2 hours. And especially like right now with classes, like I got a lot of stuff going on. My birthday is before like the next episode will drop. So, well, not this one, but the one after. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now for me that I really couldn't afford to be like, hey, let's plan out a time and then let's do all this. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know where I was with that. So don't be or alarmed or surprised or whatever. Like everything's still good. It'll go back to normal the next week. But thought I'd give like a good you know PSA. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, I'm out. Peace.